Welcome to Thursday yoga therapy, and this is our fundraiser class for the Lytton Nation and a master class for teachers and experienced practitioners of yoga. Just finding your feet, exhale, bending, inhale, straightening. I'm going to start with the invocation to Patanjali. Yogena chittasya padena vacha malam sharirasya cha vaijakena yopakarotam pravaram munena Patanjalim pranjaliranatosmi Abahu Purushakaram Shankachakrasitharinam Sahasrashirasam Shvetam Pranamami Patanjalim Srimate Anantaya Nagarajaya Namo Namaha. Connect with the tradition of yoga as it's been passed down from teacher to student throughout the generations. And we honor Patanjali for compiling the Yoga Sutra from the Vedas and giving us this how-to manual for how to live a life that will encourage the experience of yoga, union, connection with ourselves, with others, and our surroundings in a harmonious, balanced, sattvic way. When you're ready, inhale, coming up to the sides and coming up onto the toes right away, if that works for you. Exhale, arms coming down, trying to keep your balance point, lining up the breath and the movement. Just do this in your own timing. You all know your practice. And just finding your breath this morning. So it's always every time I step on the mat in the morning and I just notice my breath. How's it doing today? Is it long and smooth? Is it short and ragged? And just observe it throughout the practice change. It's the wonder of yoga is just observing the current state of body, breath, mind, and just seeing how it changes. And moving to side bends. From the center, if that works, inhale center, exhale coming to the side, and maybe one arm coming down. Inhale center, exhale other side. Just waking up the side body. Just doing this in your own timing again. Feel free to modify the arms for your individual needs. And you don't have to come up on the toes on that inhale part if you want to skip that. So that's a bit more tension to balance. When you feel ready, you might want to stay on one side and give a deeper stretch. And again, you can cross that leg over up the side you're on. I do this most classes just to really get into that hip and lower back piece. So again, if it feels too tight, just keep it moving rather than staying. When you're ready, the other side. When you're ready, in the center, exhale, release samastiti. And just notice if already there's been a shift in how you feel in the length of your spine, in the perhaps Udana Vayu, that uplifted energy, and Apana, downward energy, those two energies moving up and down, lengthening your spine and your experience. Right, well, I've had a request for forward bends today to stretch hamstrings, so we're going to start with that right away. Parshva Uttanasana, coming to the end of the mat and bringing the left foot forward and turning the right foot out. Inhale, arms coming up, fronts or sides, classically front. Exhale, I'm going to interlock my fingers and lengthen the spine. I'm not adapting this, but feel free to come to a chair or to blocks. As you come forward, you can also bend that front knee. Inhale, coming up. If you can, interlocking the fingers, move the arms in line with the ears, coming up. And exhale, coming forward, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, chest falls. Just warming up the leg, the back, the hip. And noticing the breath. Repeating this 4 to 6 times, depending on your breath pattern. When you get to your 6th time, just staying at the bottom. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And exhale, forward bend, sthiti. Inhale, lengthen, bringing the ribcage a bit forward on the thigh. And exhale, forward fold. Just keep that going, or you can just stay in the pose if you feel ready. Just stretching that front leg.
Working on the prāṇāyāma, that downward flow of energy, relaxing the body and the mind. When you're ready, coming out of it very lazily after that stay, just bending the front knee, bringing your hands up the leg. Just to let your body, your breath, your mind, your nervous system adjust to that change. Stepping back, if that's comfortable. Finding your samastiti. Bringing the other foot forward. Turning the back foot out, heel to heel alignment, or wider or more narrow, depending on your hips. Inhale, arms coming up in the front. Interlock the fingers if you like. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, coming up, moving the arms in line with the ears, lengthening the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Keep this going 4 to 6 times and then stay at the bottom. Do this in your own timing, your own breath. One of the nice things of being online, it very much gives you that sense of your own home practice. It's your home, in your environment. And a little less sense of other people looking at you. It's my favorite thing about teaching online. It's facilitating a home practice. You're doing 4 to 6 times, staying at the bottom, just deeply stretching that front leg. If that works for you, you can always bend the knee a little bit. If it's not comfortable, you can have your hands on blocks or on a chair. Inhale, extend. Exhale, coming forward. And perhaps just staying in the pose. This side, I bend my front knee a bit because this leg's longer than the other. So if you have a situation like that, feel free to adjust. This one's also fantastic for anxiety when you're ready, coming out slowly. So release. Finding your samastiti. Notice how you feel, probably a little bit more grounded in your legs and feet. To tie that together, let's do uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, arms coming up, sides. Exhale, forward. We're going to do an Om, 2 rounds with Om. Inhale, coming up. Now up Om Namo, the next one, in 2 parts, 2 steps, 2 kramas. Om Namo. Inhale,
coming up. So taking that pause between the Om and the Namo to really work the breath. Om Namo. Inhale up. The next one in 3 is Om Namo Namaha. So a third down for each part. Om Namo Namaha. You need to sneak a breath in there. Feel free. Or if you can, do it in one breath. Inhale coming up. We're going to do that again. Om Namo Namaha. And last time, 4 kramas. Om Namo Nama Namaha. Om Namo Nama Namaha. That one's a little tough. Inhale coming up. This helps us build our exhale, that diaphragmic exhale. Om Namo Nama Namaha. Inhale. And exhale, finding your samastiti. So Om Namo Nama Namaha. These are all variations of Namaha related to Namaste, Nama. I bow to, I surrender, I pay reference to, in this case, to Om, the Alpha, the Omega, everything in between. Okay, so that is our first set, and that could be your practice. So just keep that in mind for home practices. It doesn't have to be much. Let's move to our next step. So we had a request to work with knees. So I think actually I will do a balance pose, working on inner and outer hips and knees. I hope for those with tight hamstrings, this doesn't kill you today. Inhale, arms coming up. I'll try to be gentle. Exhale, arms coming down and bringing the leg to the side. And let's add a side bend just for fun. Inhale up. Exhale side, and let's actually leave the arms at the side to give us a bit more balance. I'm off the mat for this one, just so I can use the floor a bit more. Inhale, center. Exhale, side. I like the feeling of the floor as I come to the side and then extend. Just keeping that going. Now, if you want to work a little bit more with the knee, you could keep upright as you come to the side and just see if that works a little bit more. That exhale is targeting that inner thigh, inner knee area that was requested today. Exhale. This really works on balancing the hips, some core strength, a lot on core strength, and inner outer thighs. Working towards a variation of Ujjayi Trikonasana. Just notice discrepancies between legs. This pendulating movement is said to be a great resource for dukkha or pain in the body and mind. That's from research on yoga and also just on movement generally. Exhale, hands to the heart. Rhythmic pendulating movement. It's supposed to be very brain balancing. And be a resource for pain in the body and mind. Just notice how you feel. We're going to take that up a notch. So we're going to go to our Ujjayi Trikonasana. Inhale, arms coming at the sides. Exhale, coming to one side. We did this last week. Inhale, center. Exhale, other side. And if you like, you can bring in that thought of something you want to let go of and something you want to let in. As you go side to side, working with Prāṇāyāma. Chapter 2, 33 and 34 in the Yoga Sutra. So for example, I'm letting go of fear and I'm letting in courage. And you would just say to yourself on each side, one word, fear on one side, courage on the other. Just working on that pendulating movement, moving slowly and mindfully. And release, exhale, hands to the heart. Something between those two qualities. What's between those two qualities? So in Sanskrit, the word upeksha from chapter 133, it means equanimity. Or it might be ananta, harmony. Chapter 247. Or it might be shanti, peace. Or even sattva. And move into that left side a bit more, turning the left foot out, right foot in. Inhale, arms coming up. Exhale, extending to the side. Inhale up and exhale side, doing this in your own timing. And maybe just working on just one of those qualities. So I'm letting go of, fill in the blank. As you inhale, you might say, I'm letting in. Think of the opposite. Exhale, I'm letting go of, for example, fear. Inhale, I'm letting in courage. Fill in those words for yourself.
Maybe staying at the bottom or keep it going. And you can just hang out there. You can use a block. You can bring that top arm behind you, palm on the lower back or palm facing out, looping the shoulder back, lining those shoulders, looking front down or even to the side if your neck can take that. Keep drawing the belly in as you exhale. That's really stretching that inner thigh area and the QL in the back hip. Inhale, coming up with a bit of support. Exhale, center. Again, think of that quality of equanimity. What is that word for you, that balance point between the opposites? Yoga, we want to cultivate that balance point. Just say, I am, fill in the blank with that word in Sanskrit or English. Going to the other side, same thing. Inhale, arms coming up. Exhale, extend. I'm letting go of, fill in the blank. Inhale, I'm letting in, fill in the blank. Trying to move slowly and mindfully. So in this practice, the latter part of Krishnamacharya's work, the movement is actually quite simple, but the interior part of the practice, what we're doing inside, advances through lengthening the breath and paying attention to every moment that you're in. So as soon as you catch yourself kind of, just moving without being mindful, just try to bring yourself back. The definition of dharana, concentration in the sutra, is tying yourself to a place. Desha bandha, I love that definition. Just tying yourself to a place, to link yourself in. After you've done that 4 to 6 times, staying in the pose, finding your version. You want to make it more relaxing, you can hold on to the shin, or you can use a block with your hand. So any of those variations for a chair. You can release the top arm. These are ways of making it a little less intense. If you want to bring up the intensity, don't put any connection between your hand and the leg, and you're going to use your core to keep you up. Try to keep that top shoulder from rotating forward, which will be the tendency. So when we start the alignment there. When you're ready, coming out of it, inhale, exhale, release. And coming to your samastiti and finding that balance point. You might say to yourself, I am peace, I am love, I am harmony. Or you could just say Sanskrit, shanti, or ananta, upeksha.
All right. So we're just gonna go right into Parshva. So with the feet wide, you're going to turn your left foot out and your right foot slightly in, or it can be remain square, your choice. And then bending that left knee over the ankle towards the second toes and just finding the beginnings of that pose. This is stretching that back hip. This is great for the SI joints. Great for balancing two spines, sides of the spine that might be different. Inhale, arms coming up. Exhale, bending that front knee in a warrior type position, then coming to the first part of the pose with the hand to the sky. And then inhale, extend the arm long. Exhale, hand to the sky. Inhale, coming up through the warrior two. And exhale, let's bring the arms down. So the latter part of Krishnamacharya's work, he would bring the arms down between each repetition. And further back, he did not do that. So that's a choice. Slows it down a bit to add that piece. Inhale, extend. Exhale, hand to the sky. Inhale through your warrior two and up. And exhale, starting position. Just focus on the breath in this round. Inhale, breathing into the chest, into the belly. Exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, chest falls. Inhale, breathing into the upper chest, middle chest, lower chest, full belly. Exhale, inhale, upper chest, middle chest, lower chest, full belly. And inhale, coming up. I think I messed up the breath there, sorry. And the exhale, arms coming down. Let me try that again. I don't think I usually cue the breath in this one. Inhale, coming up. Exhale from the pelvic floor up. Inhale, breathing from the chest down. Exhale from the pelvic floor up. Inhale from the chest down. Exhale, hands down, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, chest falls. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, upper chest, middle chest, lower chest, full belly. Exhale from the pelvic floor, up. Inhale from the chest down. We're going to stay here now in this position. Now you can go more deeply into it if you like, using blocks, chairs, etc. You can also add a dynamic movement in that top arm if your neck and shoulders are bothering you. When you're ready, coming out of it, feet parallel, exhale, arms down, hands at the heart, just rest for a moment. Think of that word of balance, detachment, equanimity, harmony, peace. Sometimes it can be helpful to use the Sanskrit to bypass the mind. For example, Shanti or Sattva, Upeksha, Ananta. When you're ready, other side. Inhale, arms coming up, center, exhale, bending that right knee over the ankle towards that second toe, coming
down, exhale, inhale, arm extending, exhale, hand to the sky, inhale, coming up through your warrior two and up to straight leg, exhale, arms down, right back to the center. Keep this going your own timing. Four to six times and then stay. Focus on the breath. Inhale from the chest down, exhale from the pelvic floor up. So this is the classical Krishnacharya breath pattern that got refined throughout his years of teaching to what I'm teaching you right now. And try to slow it down. Slower the better. Slower the harder for both the body, the breath, and the mind, for all of those. It actually works the core strength much more when you move slowly. You're resisting momentum and also gravity. And then at this point, you might want to consider staying. You could keep it moving. And in the stay, you can move that top arm if you like. Exhale, bend, inhale, extend, or some other version you want to do. Maybe go more deeply into the pose. Keep drawing the belly in as you exhale. Staying 4 to 6 breaths. When you feel complete coming out. Exhale. Let's come to our samasthiti. Thinking of that balance point. So you can be in Anjali Mudra. You could cross your hands across the heart. You could even do some tapping to bring in some more contemporary ideas of somatics. Just notice your legs and feet. Drop your attention into your feet. All right, we're going to do our last standing set before we hit the deck. Legs apart. And a lot of attention in this area of the body today. Forward bends for hamstrings and mind and emotions. Inhale, arms coming up. And lots of side bending for the same reason. Exhale, you're going to twist to your left. I'm interlocking my fingers. It's a variation of Prasarita Pada Uttanasana. Exhale, coming to your left leg. Now, I like to bend the knee. You might prefer to keep it straight. I bend it to get into the hip a bit more. Inhale, arms in line with the ears coming up through the center. Exhale, start to twist from the pelvic floor up to the other side and come down. Again, that leg can be straight or bent. Inhale, arms in line with the ears coming up through the center. Exhale, forward bend, center. And that's one round. Inhale, coming up, and then you do it again. Exhale, twisting to your left, coming down. Inhale, coming up through the center. Exhale, twisting right, coming down. Inhale, coming up through the center. Exhale, coming down in the middle. Inhale, coming up. That's your second round. Keep this going your own timing. From left to right to center. Doing 4 rounds. So 2 more on your own. When you finish, just come to your samastiti and rest. And actually, let's just stay at the bottom. You guys are there. Let's stay at the bottom. And stay in the full pose. You might extend your feet out a bit more. Might hold the big toes. You might bend and straighten the legs with your breath. And when you're ready, twisting to one side for a lunge. And exhale, stretching that front leg, coming back. Inhale, coming back to your lunge. You can add the arms if you like. You can put something under your knee if you like. And switching sides, you can twist the other way or stay on the same direction. Inhale, lunge, and exhale, stretching back. And you could come all the way back like this if you wanted to, or not as intensely back. The knee can come forward towards your toes to get a bit deeper stretch. I know we used to say knee aligning with ankle, but now there's a recognition that the knee joint, when we squat, for example, definitely comes beyond the ankles. So just not beyond the toes would be a general safety cue, unless there's a reason to align, just to take the intensity off, to stack the joints for more safety. Or more comfort, more stability. Getting into those hamstrings. After you've done around 6, coming back to your child's pose. And perhaps think of that quality you'd like to let go of. It might sound like, may I let go of fill in the blanks? My word today was fear. Keep in mind those 5 kleshas, how your word might fit into those. Chapter 2, 3 of the sutra. We're going to move with this Vajrasana pose a bit. Been doing some Chakrakasana. We're going to do something a little different today, keeping with the side bend theme. So coming with your arms to your right, and you're going to come up on your knee into a variation of Vasishthasana. Inhale, extend the arm long, nice and long, and get into that hip. And exhale, we're going to sweep forward. And if you can, come right down to the heel. So you're stretching the thigh as well, that other ankle. So it's a lot of different parts of the legs and back. Inhale, coming up, and exhale, sweeping down. Inhale up and exhale down. So the latter part of Krishnamacharya's yoga, the sequencing move from standing to kneeling to supine to inversions to prone to seated. And then you do your pranayama meditation. And perhaps after moving dynamically 4 to 6 times, you stay, go a bit more deeply into it, or not. You're welcome. If you're having wrist issues or just it feels a bit intense, you can add a block and it might feel a bit better. That extra height. You can move the arm as well as you exhale, bend the elbow, inhale, extend, or other variations. So let me see if I can remember. There's other variations that we don't do as much in our tradition. Inhale up, exhale down, inhale, extend, exhale down, inhale up, exhale down, inhale, extend. You can all do all those kinds of things. Coming into your child's pose. And if you've got one leg longer than the other, I know some of you do, you can bring that leg back and even out your back. You feel good in even child's pose to do that. If you've got those discrepancies, it is really good to adjust. Otherwise, you're going to be always really having a hard time with your hips. Inhale, extending to the side, exhale, coming front. I'm adding a block for this side right away. Because of scoliosis in my body, so feel free to add those props as needed. Inhale, coming up. Now, if you can, on the exhale, coming right down to the heel in your Vajrasana, your diamond. And it's knee to ankle alignment for the legs. And this is very much for the hips, the back, and also the mind. Just that rhythmic movement, working on one side at a time. After having repeated around 6 times, you can stay in the position and you can add whatever variations of your arm you would like to work on. I'm going to try that one that I haven't done in a long time, see if I can remember it. Inhale, extend. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, extend. Anyway, something like that. You can play with that. There are many variations. When you're ready, going into your child's pose. In this class, I don't do too many supine poses, but we're going to do a couple before we sit. So lying down on your back. We're just going to do some Dvipadipedam bridge. Inhale, lifting the hips up. Exhale, stay. Inhale, coming up on the toes and see if you can get the hips even higher. Exhale, heels down. And just that, inhale, lift the hips up, heels coming up, exhale, heels coming down. This is working a lot with knee strength, ankle strength. The ankles, surprisingly, the strength of the ankles affects the knees, the hips, the lower back. Really good to sometimes work on just the feet and the knees, and then the hips and the lower back in this kind of sequencing. You can probably also feel your glutes working quite a bit. It's fantastic for strengthening the hips. You come down at any time in between. And brings your attention to your feet, directs the pranic flow to the feet, which helps with āsana-vayu, that grounding of the mind into the body. So important at this time in history, especially with the internet technology. It's very vata deranging during this vata season of fall. When you're ready, coming down, let's work on our āsana-vayu. I'm going to add a block for this one. You can use something like this or a pillow if you like. You don't have to. I do this because I have a bit of sway back. So if you have that kind of body, that can be helpful. Otherwise, just pelvis on the ground Exhale, bring the knees into the chest. And if you're using a block, it will just add you a little bit more inversion. And inhale. This also can be used in yoga therapy for pelvic floor health, incontinence in particular, which is pretty common in women after a certain age. And this energetically really helps with āsana. This pose is to encourage the āsana. And just finishing up by just staying in the pose. Coming to your right side. Up to a seated position. I'm just going to do 2 seated poses before we sit for pranayama. Extending one leg out and then bending the other knee. Start on your easy side, or classically, I have to mirror for you. You extend your left leg long and you bend your right. Okay. So I invite you to do either. I'm going to start on my easy side for myself. Inhale, arms coming up in front. Exhale, coming forward into the pose, and you can add any props you need to. For example, you might have a bolster on the inside of the thigh. You might have a blanket on your shin as a landing pad. You can interlock the fingers to make this more intense, help you to strengthen and lengthen your spine. And after repeating 4 times, you're going to stay in the pose, Jana Shirshasana. Hopefully at this point of the practice, you're pretty warm and you're ready for a deeper stretch. This pose really gets into the QL of the back, quadratus lumborum, of the knee that's bent. To encourage that, you might want to twist your body towards the little toe side to get more of a stretch into the side of your body where the knee is bent. And back to the center. And coming out. And going to the other side, same thing, other side, 4 times repeat and then stay. Again, adding any propping you need to. For example, block under the hip or blanket. If you've got imbalances in your hips, it will definitely show up in this pose. Inhale, extend, and for myself, scoliosis, it's not an imbalance I can fix, but I can work with it so I don't have pain. So hopefully any imbalances you have are those that can change permanently. It depends. Scoliosis is not one of those. Exhaling from the pelvic floor up. Inhaling from the chest down. After doing 4 to 6, staying in the pose. And I encourage you to go to that little toe side to get more into the outside of your body where your leg is bent. And depending on where you're tight, you might feel it in the ribs, you might feel it in the hip, lower back. You're ready, coming to the center if you haven't already. And when you feel complete, coming to the center, counter pose, Baddha Konasana. And I'm just going to go right into it. Feel free to add propping if your leg doesn't, if your chest doesn't come down. Just feel that stretch in your back, your spine. When you feel complete, coming to some seated pose for pranayama that works for your body. Hopefully after those two seated poses, you'll feel ready to sit. So I'm doing a lot about balance today between opposites coming to the center. So we're going to do a pranayama that works on that. My two choices would be Nadi Shodhana or Pratiloma Ujjayi Pranayama. I'm going to choose that. Inhale, both nostrils. Exhale, left nostril. Inhale, left nostril. Exhale, both nostrils. Inhale, both nostrils with Ujjayi. Exhale, right nostril. Inhale, right. Exhale, both. So keep this going. So the pattern is like an M. Inhale, Ujjayi both. Exhale, left nostril. Inhale, left. Exhale, both. Inhale, both. Exhale, right. Inhale, right. Exhale, both. Keep this going in your own timing. We're going to do a few more rounds. Pick a ratio that works for you. So for example, inhale 4 to 12 seconds, exhale the same, adding a hold after exhale perhaps, if you want to down regulate, or a hold after inhale if you want to up regulate, or you can add a hold on both sides.
Just finishing up your last round. And then just practicing dry pranayama, both nostrils. Asatoma Satyamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityoma Amritangamaya Shanti 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 Hari May we be led from what is asat to what is sat, what is unreal to what is real. May we be led, Gamaya, from tamas, darkness, to jyoti, light. May we be led, Gamaya, from our limited mortality to our infinite immortality. And may this bring us to that balance between the opposites. Shanti, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste, Namaskaram. Thank you very much.